Today I'll try and convince you why you should add a bog filter to your pond. G'day, my name is Kev. The aim of my channel is to help people build and maintain ponds without spending a fortune. If that sounds like something that interests you, feel free to subscribe and check out my website ozponds.com. The first reason to use a bog filter to filter your pond is that it's cheap and easy to build and you can do it yourself. If you've ever looked at the price of a pond filter, you're left wondering, what exactly am I paying for? This pond's being filtered by a bog I built using an old olive barrel, a few plumbing fittings, some rock and gravel, and a low voltage pump. I will leave some helpful links in the description to the actual build videos, and my website has a lot of free information on it, so feel free to check that out. But anyway, it was a very cheap build, and I think it provides just as good, if not better, water quality than any filter you can buy online or in a store. Second reason to add a bog filter is that they're incredibly energy efficient. Most of the store-bought filters are relying on moving lots of water through them, but a bog filter utilises a slow flow, and that means you'll save money on running costs. The pump running this pond is only consuming 40 watts of energy. The third reason is that when a bog filter is sized correctly, it will give you crystal clear water every time. One of the videos I'll link in the description will be how to size a bog filter and determine the flow rates required. The reason that the water stays so clean and clear is because all the rocks and gravel inside the bog is a breeding ground for good bacteria. If you're not sure why you need good bacteria in a pond, here's the quick version. Fish, leaves, dying plant material, pretty much anything inside the pond is going to produce different forms of nitrogen. Different types of bacteria will process this nitrogen to varying degrees. The bacteria need wet surface area to grow on and thrive, and the bog filter provides this in abundance. Without enough bacteria, the pond will generally go green, because algae in single-celled form will grow to feed on the nitrogen. So if you want a green pond, don't add a bog filter. If you want clear water, add one. Some people like green ponds, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just not one of them. The fourth reason to add a bog filter is it creates different oxygen zones within the filter. The bacteria I mentioned need oxygen to help them process the nitrogen. Bacteria that live in areas that are rich in oxygen will process the harmful ammonia and nitrite into less harmful nitrate. But nitrate is still a form of nitrogen, so the cycle isn't complete. There are bacteria that live in low oxygen environments, and they can convert the nitrogen into a gas, thus removing it completely from the pond. And then there are bacteria that live in no oxygen environments, and they can steal the oxygen from the nitrate and sort of reverse the process. It's important to remember that all forms of bacteria would be present in a natural body of water. For us hobbyists, it's best to start with good levels of oxygen inside the water. I'll try and explain how this works in a bog filter. If I'm boring you, you can switch off and find a funny cat video. I won't be offended, I promise. So let's look at this bog filter. The water is pumped into the very bottom of the filter. The water then percolates up through various sized rock and pebble. The water that initially comes into the filter is rich in oxygen. Almost always I'll take the water off the surface of the pond and deliver it to the bog filter. This is because the surface water is rich in oxygen. As the water moves up through the rock and the pebble, the bacteria are consuming the oxygen. And that means that the levels of oxygen inside the water are constantly declining as the water moves up through the bog filter. Then once the water moves through the filter, it's a good idea to reintroduce the oxygen. This is easy to do using a stream or waterfall. So by sizing the bog filter correctly and having the right amount of flow, we can complete the nitrogen cycle, which I think is pretty cool. The fifth reason is they're very low maintenance. A bog filter is a lot bigger than other traditional filters. It has no sponges that need regular servicing to keep the water flowing through. Pretty much all my bog filters will only receive a good clean and flush once a year, or even every second year. And even then, if they're designed right, cleaning and flushing out should be quite an easy task. I'll link 3 different styles of bog filters I make for my ponds down in the description. You can use them as a guide and modify them to suit your situation, or build them exactly the same. My 6th and final reason why you should add a bog filter is that they replicate what nature has been doing to filter water for millions of years. A bog filter is really just a scaled down version of a wetland. Wetlands in nature trap sediments, purify water, and improve biodiversity. A wetland can remove phosphorus, and as I already mentioned, complete the nitrogen cycle. In our pond environment, that means less nutrients available for algae to grow. So a bog filter gives us better water quality, is cheaper to build and run than a traditional filter, and is less maintenance. I don't know about you, but it's a no-brainer for me. And as a bonus reason, they look natural and blend in with the landscape. Anyway, I think that's it for this video. Remember to check out my website and the videos I've linked if you need more information. Thanks for watching. See ya.